Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today we're gonna be looking at the Tanaka clan.
Ooh,
Yeah, the Tanaka clan,
the Yakuza.
the Japanese mafia. That's right.
Yeah.
So this is a group that we haven't really looked at before. I mean, we talked about the Yakuza in general,
Right.
but this is a specific family.
Yeah.
And the sources that we've got are really interesting.
Yeah, it's like a character study almost
Yeah,
of this Hiroshi Tanaka,
that's right. Hiroshi Tanaka.
who runs the whole thing.
Yeah, the head of the family. So we're going to be diving into his story, and I guess through that, the story of the Tanaka clan.
Yeah.
So how about we just get right into it? What do we know about this Hiroshi Tanaka?
Well, he's a family man,
Okay.
and he's also head of this powerful Yakuza family.
So like a contradiction.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and the sources describe him as being very calm and strategic,
Okay.
like a shogi master.
Like a shogi master.
You know, they always think several steps ahead,
Mm.
always planning things out. That's kind of his style.
So I guess that makes sense for the head of a criminal organization
Right.
to be strategic.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think ahead, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And he's also able to inspire a lot of loyalty in his men, which is really important in that world.
Right, because you've got to be able to trust the people you work with,
Absolutely.
especially when it's such a high-stakes kind of business.
Totally.
So he sounds pretty formidable, this Hiroshi Tanaka. But I guess nobody stays on top forever, right?
Well, yeah, it's true.
There's always somebody gunning for you.
Yeah. And in this case, it looks like the threat is coming from the Kuroda Syndicate.
Okay, another Yakuza family.
Yeah, a rival gang.
So what are they doing? Are they trying to, like, take over the Tanaka clan's territory or what?
Exactly. They're trying to muscle their way in.
Okay.
And specifically, they're making moves on clubs and restaurants in Shibuya.
Oh, wow. So, like, right in the heart of things.
Yeah, that's a busy entertainment district.
Right. So it's not just some abstract turf war. This is going to have a real impact.
It's about money and influence.
Right. So I guess Hiroshi can't just ignore this.
They're not going to back down.
So what does he do? I mean, does he send his enforcers to rough up these Kuroda guys?
It's interesting, actually.
Okay.
He takes a more direct approach.
Okay.
He requests a meeting with Ryuji Kuroda,
Okay, so the head of the other family.
the leader of the Kuroda Syndicate.
Bold move.
Yeah. And the place he chooses for this meeting is kind of surprising.
Oh, really? How so?
It's just a small, unassuming restaurant.
Okay, so not like some smoky back room or anything.
No, not at all.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
I wonder what the thinking is there.
Yeah, it's a really intriguing detail.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens when these two powerful figures come face to face. So I guess what happens at this meeting?
Well, it's pretty tense.
Okay.
You know, you've got these two powerful figures,
Right.
both with a lot at stake.
I bet. So does Hiroshi like come in with guns blazing or what?
No, he's much more controlled than that.
Okay.
He's very direct, though.
Right.
Like, he just comes right out and asks Kuroda why his men are messing around in Shibuya.
I see. So it just cuts to the chase.
Right to the point.
So how does Kuroda respond to that?
He tries to play it cool.
Okay.
You know, he says there's enough room for both of them.
Oh, so he's trying to downplay the whole thing.
Yeah, he's basically saying, let's just share.
But I bet Hiroshi isn't buying that.
Not for a second.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty shrewd guy.
He sees right through Kuroda's act.
Right.
He knows this is about power.
Yeah. And I bet he's not about to let some up-and-comer like Kuroda just waltz in and take over.
Exactly. Hiroshi's not going to back down.
So what does he do? Does he threaten Kuroda?
He does, actually. The sources even quote him directly. He says, "My family controls this city.
Whoa.
If you want trouble, we will give it to you."
That's a pretty clear warning.
Yeah. No mincing words there.
So he's basically saying back off or else.
Exactly.
It's interesting how he phrases it, though.
What do you mean?
Well, he says, my family controls this city.
Right.
It's like he's not just talking about the Tanaka clan as a criminal organization. It's like it's personal.
Yeah, it shows how intertwined family and business are for him.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's all part of the Yakuza code, isn't it?
Yeah, loyalty to the family above all else.
Exactly.
But it's still pretty chilling to hear him say it like that.
Oh, absolutely.
So what happens next? Does Kuroda just like get up and leave?
Well, there's one more interesting detail.
Okay.
As Hiroshi is getting ready to leave, he leans in and says, "You are a strong man, Kuroda,
Okay.
but you are not as strong as the Tanaka clan."
Wow. So not just a warning, but also like a statement of fact.
Totally.
It's like he's completely confident in his own power.
It really shows his belief in the Tanaka clan.
Right, like they're unstoppable.
And it leaves us wondering what happens next.
Yeah. Does Kuroda listen to the warning, or does this lead to like an all-out gang war?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess we'll have to find out. Well, is there any chance Kuroda just backs down?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
Hiroshi's warning was pretty serious.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, he wasn't messing around.
Yeah, not at all.
And, I mean, the Tanaka clan's got a lot of power behind them, right?
Oh, yeah, they're a major force.
Yeah.
So I think Kuroda would have to be pretty foolish to just ignore that.
Yeah. But then again,
Yeah.
pride and all that,
Right.
it can make people do stupid things.
That's true, especially in that world.
Right, where respect is everything.
Exactly. You can't back down without losing face.
Yeah. So, I guess it really could go either way.
It's a tough one to call.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of frustrating that the sources don't tell us what happens next.
I know, right? It's like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, but I guess that's part of what makes it so interesting.
It is kind of intriguing.
Right. It leaves us wondering,
For sure.
what would you do if you were Kuroda?
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Right. Like, on the one hand, you've got your own ambitions.
Well, you want to make your mark.
Yeah. But on the other hand...
You don't want to start a war. You can't win.
Right, exactly. So it's like a real dilemma.
And I think that's one of the big takeaways from this whole deep dive.
What do you mean?
Well, it shows just how complex the Yakuza world is.
Yeah, it's not just about violence and crime.
Right? It's about strategy.
And power.
And respect.
Yeah, and tradition.
Exactly. It's all intertwined.
And I guess in the end, we just don't know for sure what happened.
Now we're left to speculate.
Right, which I guess is part of the fun.
It keeps us thinking.
Yeah, so for our listeners out there, what do you think? What happens next? Does Kuroda back down, or does this spark a massive gang war? Let us know your theories. And that's going to do it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.